Hello and welcome to the Super Rugby Round 10 preview brought to you by DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, your best place for rugby predictions and opinion. And this one, yes, it's coming out kind of live on what's called a preview on YouTube, but actually this is a recording that's done at 6:30. So if there's been some changes since 6:30pm and at 8pm when this goes out, then I'm sorry. But yeah, unfortunately I'm not available at 8pm, so hence I've done it this way. So we kick off with the Chiefs versus the Lions tomorrow evening here in Hamilton. And obviously it's the missing players that really are the ones that kind of are more kind of been in the headlight. If you just look at some of the players that the Chiefs are missing currently, we've got Ross, Retallick, Damien McKenzie, Hatera, Hames, McFunnell, Allardyce, Karpik, Harris, O'Neill, Kane, McNichol, Alamano, and Falcon. So a long injury list here for the Chiefs, and yeah, it's happening again, isn't it? They had this last year. So maybe there are some question marks around the strength and conditioning and the medical staff and how they're handled. I'm not sure, but that is a long list. Weber comes into captain with both Retallick and Kane missing, so congratulations to him. And Bayer Plenty hooker Liam Polwart will make his first appearance. In place of Nathan Harris, who I say is out injured. So what is the plan? The plan is to put Jack Debrasini at fullback now that Dane McKenzie is not available, and also Solomon Alamalo. You might expect to have gone back there, but he's obviously out as well. So you've got Debrasini back there, Wanui, Nakavelli, Leonard Brown, Moliakaleo, Martin McKenzie, Brad Weber, that back line. So with Marty McKenzie and Jack Debrasini, it's a very different sort of axis than a Marty McKenzie and Dane McKenzie, or Dane McKenzie and Solomon Alamalo, which we saw earlier in the season. Amongst the forwards, Seo, Boshier, Jacobson, Brown, Ardron, and Lualala, Polwart, and Teavo in that front row. So, yeah, not the intimidating kind of pack that I mean, when you think that you're missing, as I say, Hames and Harris in the front row, you're missing Retallick and Michael Allardyce from the engine room, and then also missing Sam Kane from that back row. So yeah, lots of players missing there. If we flip over to the Lions, though, we're also Whiteley returns to captain the side. Comes straight back into the side at 8, so we'll see how he returns. But there are other players that aren't starting. So Malcolm Marks on the bench, Nick Groom on the bench, Elton Yanchis on the bench. So lots of changes there in the side. So Mahuza comes in at fullback. We've got Skozan, Mapoe, Nadu, Dante, Lombard, and Kronya are they kind of your back line. Whiteley, Brinks, Quagga Smith in that back row. Ori, Lewis in the engine room, Sadie, Coetzee and Sitol in the front row. So again, another side that's got players missing. We've just been just went through there. So and this Lions side has been on the end of some pretty poor performances recently. The Chiefs will be looking at backing up or continue their good form really. The draw against Hurricanes, win away against the Sharks, win away against the Jaguares, beating the Blues last weekend. So that's 3 wins and a draw on the trot now. So 4 games haven't lost after a really poor start to the season. So yeah, they'll be looking at getting a win there. And you've got to say, where the Lions have been in the last couple of weeks, you'd expect them to. But the problem is these South African sides have been all over the place with their performances. And will Whiteley come back and be the kind of force you'd expect? Then we head up to Tokyo for the Sunwolves versus the Hurricanes. A lot of people talking about number 12, Robino Warren Vasayaka, coming in at 12. It's going to be interesting to see what we get from him. Otherwise, yeah, a lot of the names I'd expect from the Sunwolves in there. For the Hurricanes, again, it's about players missing rather than players attending, isn't it? Bowden, Geordie Barrett, along with Adi Surveyor, are all on the All Blacks rest weeks this week, so haven't gone up to Japan. And also Liam Mitchell is coming in place of Leo Pepe. So you're looking, Chase Tiatia, Hooson, Proctor, Laumapi, Ben Lam, Fletcher Smith has come back in. He's been out for quite a while. Comes into 10. Golden Bishop isn't even on the bench, so a bit interesting to see. I guess he must be injured at the moment, but I've not heard much about him. TJ is captaining the side. Princip, Karifi, Fafita, Liam Mitchell, Blackwell, and then May, Riccatelli, and Armstrong up front. So also no Dane Coles either, because Amua is on the bench. So a lot of people missing. The other big name that I'm looking forward to is number 23, Billy Proctor. Here's a kid who got, was it a 5-year contract with the Hurricanes in his first ever Super Rugby contract. So it's going to be interesting to see what we see from him. Obviously, they're not trying to rush him through, but the Hurricanes, even with those 4 or 5 All Blacks missing, you've got to say that they'll be looking to try to get the win up there in Tokyo. Also, the other big thing is that we've gone back to a 5-3 split on the bench for Plum-Truch. It makes not a lot more sense than what they had before. Sharks then versus the Reds. Sharks, up and down. Let's be honest, haven't they been? But looking at, you got Bosch, Nkosi, Van Wyk, Spaths and Mavovo, with Robert DePriest and Schroeder pulling the strings. DePriest, Vermeulen comes back into the side, so that's a big one. Van der Walt, Andrews, Van Heeden, Owerts, Ossentijnsen, Van Vuren, and the Beast. So big thing is that you've got that Ossentijnsen and the Beast. So you've got your Springbok props back in the side, and also you've got Vermeulen coming back in as well. So that's a big change for the side. But there's been quite a lot of changes in the backs, as well as both Am and Mapimpi arrested for this game against the Reds. The Reds, 3 changes from last time. After being rested, we've got Naivolu coming back into the side, and Hoppert will get his first ever rugby start at prop, and Angus Scott-Young has been promoted off the bench into the 6 jersey. So we've still got Karevi going and captaining at 12. Let's be honest, last week he was a one-man team. He really needs the other players to stand up around him. He's kind of like, well, what's even the point of naming the other players who are in the side? Because, it's all been about him. The Sharks should get a comfortable win here against the Reds, you'd think, on the road. Saturday, Highlanders versus the Blues, big game of the weekend. Highlanders having a really poor season, and the Blues really looking for that first away win against the New Zealand side for a long, long time. Looking at the Highlanders side, we've got Daniel Brown, Coltman, Lomax at the front row. Hemapo comes back into the side with partner Franklin in the engine room. Frizzell, Yenchis, Dixon, Hamilton and Joshuani in that 9-10 combination. Lee, Walden, Tompkinson, Fadders and Ben Smith. Now, the more interesting thing is who is on the bench. Luke Whitelock is on the bench, and so is Aaron Smith. And so is Thomas Amaga Jensen. So, some firepower to come off that bench, certainly. Still missing, unavailable due to injury. We've got Liam Squire, Marty Banks, Naholo, with Nabrua and Buckman out for the season. So, Squire, Banks and Naholo all would be starting players. So 3 key players missing there. And the other Rob Thompson is also available and due to family issues. Hence we've got Tompkinson comes back in there. So, but I say, for them, it really is that the power of the bench there. The Blues, James Parsons gets his 100th start, or his 100th game coming off the bench. And, I've not got their team list up because I've only got it on Twitter. Sorry, let me just go and bring that up now. So hat tip to Parsons for his 100th cap. A lot of, so we've got Carl Twinner for Caffey, Parsons we've mentioned, Mafileo in that in the front row, Tuipulotu, Cowley, Tuioti, Robinson, Papali'i, Ione, Ruru and Oteri Black running things, Rico, Nonu, TJ Fayani, Clark and Nanai in the back there. So off the bench we've got players like Plummer and Duffy, which is good. Josh Goodhue's also been improved as well. So some stability there. Offer also coming off the bench as well, Tuanga Fassi. So yeah, a good mix of starters and some interesting players come off the bench in this one. You've got to say the Blues, sure, they've got those 4 wins. They lost the Chiefs, but they're looking at doing double over the Highlanders, having beaten them at home already. You've got to say they've got to go down there and win this game. If they don't, then it's a really, really poor situation for them. This Highlanders side, you've still got Aaron Smith and Luke Whitelock on the bench. They're not starting. It is definitely, they've got key injuries. Sort of 5 starting players not starting. You've got to say the Blues should be looking at taking advantage of that. Tars against Rebels. Well, for the Tars, it's kind of a name that's not there, isn't it? Falau obviously is missing, which is a big thing, and will have been a distraction for this team off the field. How have they coped with that? They've gone with Curtly Beale at 15, Clark, Ashley Cooper, Hunt, Newsom are the other backs, Foley, Gordon running to do the pulling the strings. Which means there's no Phipps, Wells, Hooper, Dempsey, Simmons, Holloway, Kepu, Fitzpatrick and Johnson Holmes all in there. So good to see that Michael Hooper comes back and it's his 100th new Waratahs match, so congratulations to him. Another hat tip going on there. Also Jed Holloway will be playing his 50th game for the Tars. So some key changes there. Looking at the Rebels, so you got Rangi, Maddox, Tuipulotu, Phipp coming in to replace Abel, Tupu, Hyanganui, and Cottrell. Key for them obviously is that Genia Cooper combination. We got shown last week the Sharks with. Last week the Stormers showed how you can get after those 2 players, and so everyone's going to have to be looking at that as being the way to go about it. But having Maddox back, he's been playing well, will be key, and that back line as well is Genia, Cooper, Corabetti, Meeks, English, Maddox and Hodge really can cause some problems. It's just a matter of whether they get the ball and get looked after by those forwards, because as I say, you can get after that half-back combination, but you'd expect the Rebels to come back and beat this Waratahs side, because they've had a whole bunch of off-field issues to deal with this week, which means they won't have been able to do all the coaching. Well, at least the head coach won't be able to concentrate on coaching. Let's be honest. Finished the weekend off with Stormers vs Brumbies. Not got the lineups for this one yet, I guess, but the big news of the Brumbies is that Pocock is travelling with them. The big problem for the Brumbies is they've lost every single away game this season so far, and the Stormers coming off the back of that morale-boosting win over the Rebels. So you've got to say Stormers there looking like the stronger side. Always have got a rugby chat, so don't forget to have to chat down below and know your thoughts as to how you think these games will go. Up there is how you subscribe to the channel. Down there is how you come to Patreon. That's how you can become a supporter of the channel, and that helps me bring you all this free content, as well as get access to exclusive content and opinion pieces over on Patreon. And over there and down there are 2 videos that the artificial intelligence here at YouTube says you're going to enjoy. So give them a click.